even though President Trump is kicking everyone's ass in the primary polls.
We're still trying to set him up with our bullshit Republican primary debate.
I mean, maybe he'll show up.
And we're just hoping everyone takes shots at him so we can help Ron DeSantis.
Because we're Fox News.
And we suck.
And we don't really give a shit
about our viewers' opinion.
We only care about getting a big fat paycheck.
And about not getting fired like Tucker Carlson.
Would not support an increase of funding to Ukraine.
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous, that we are protecting against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States of America.
All right, friends, I do have a perspective to share with you today. We're going to go through a number of videos. For those of you who don't already know, the debate has taken place. Well, you should know if you follow in politics of any sort. Donald Trump didn't show up. He didn't have to. Let's find out first why Donald Trump didn't show up. And of course, secondly, let me tell you, watching part of this debate, I'm still going through it. Vivek Ramaswamy was ridiculously on fire. It's like, this man is just so good. He's so good to listen to. And I will say Donald Trump should not sleep on this guy. Donald Trump should not sleep on this guy. Anything happens to Trump, this is your president. I'm so serious. Because he's that good. We're going to listen to a number of videos of his. But first of all, let's listen to why Donald Trump chose not to be part of the debate, which I thought was an excellent reason. Let's take a listen.
It's debate night, but we're not in Milwaukee.
Mr. President, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Why aren't you at the Fox News debate tonight in Milwaukee?
Well, you know, a lot of people have been asking me that, and many people said you shouldn't do them, but you see the polls have come out, and I'm leading by 50 and 60 points. And, you know, some of them are at 1 and 0 and 2. And I'm saying, do I sit there for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and get harassed by people that shouldn't even be running for president? Should I be doing that? And a network that isn't particularly friendly to me, frankly. You know, they were backing Ron DeSanctimonious like crazy, and now they've given up on him. I mean, it's a lost cause. It reminded me very much of 2016. You know, in 2016, I went through the same stuff and had to fight them all the way, and then they became very friendly after I won, or just about when I was winning. But I just felt it would be more appropriate not to do the debate. I don't think it's right to do it. If you're leading by 50, 60, I have one problem leading by 70 points, and I'm saying, why am I doing it? And I'm going to have 8 people, 10 people, whoever made the debate, I don't know how many it is, but I'm going to have all these people screaming at me, shouting questions at me, all of which I love answering, I love doing, but it doesn't make sense to do them. So I've taken a pass.
You know what? I agree with Mr. Trump on that one. Because there's no reason for him to waste his time going through all of this, because there's no reason for it. Now, anyway, let's spend some time listening to Vivek Ramaswamy, because this guy is good, man. I'm so serious. He is so good. So let's listen to a number of these videos. Again, Fox News is acting really weird with these videos. They don't even want you to speak about the debate for more than 3 minutes. So we're going to do little short segments and talk about that. I guess, you know, it's all about the money, huh? Anyway, let's listen to this. Listen carefully to the question that is asked and look at the different candidates on the stage who raises the hand first. It tells you a whole lot. And I love how Mark Dice put this one together here.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
This deserves a second look because, well, if you're on a mobile device, you probably can't even see who is here. They're so small. But again, this is the key moment that defines who these people are.
Please raise your hand if you would.
That's Vivek Ramaswamy, who was first to raise his hand and up high. Then, surprisingly, Nikki Haley, number 2. Then Senator Tim Scott, who is a senator from South Carolina. Then this guy over on the right, whoever he is, I forgot his name already because he doesn't matter. But He is the governor of North Dakota, and he is delusional enough to think that he has a chance. Then, finally, Ron DeSantis, after surveying the other candidates and realizing that, well, at this point, half of them support Donald Trump still, if he is the nominee. After all, that was the pledge that they signed in order to be on the stage. So then Ron DeSantis reluctantly and barely raises his hand. Then Mike Pence jumps on the bandwagon. Mike Dents, I'm sorry. Then Governor Krispy Kreme over there, Chris Krispy Kreme, looked like he was raising his hand, but then started waving his finger at the other candidates. And that's Asa Hutchinson, the former governor of Arkansas over there on the left, who also did not raise his hand. So already him and Krispy Kreme violated the oath that they had to sign in order to be on this stage in the first place, which said that they would support the nominee, whoever it is.
All right, let's go over to Vivek Ramaswamy. We're going to go on Twitter for this one because Vivek Ramaswamy has a number of videos on Twitter. All right, in this video, we're going to listen to him laying out his plan as a president. I mean, he's got the gift of gab, man. He can talk the talk. He's just a good talker. But whether or not he could carry him out, that's another discussion. But one thing for certain is that he knows how to say it. So let's take a listen to him talking about his presidential plan and what he looks to do. I think very few actually can articulate their view and perspective and vision as this man, Vivek Ramaswamy, is able to do. Listen to this.
We have a crisis of achievement. Let's shut down the head of the snake, the Department of Education. Take that $80 billion, put it in the hands of parents across this country. This is the civil rights issue of our time. Allow any parent to choose where they send their kids to school. End the teachers' unions at the local level to allow public schools to compete. And then revive our national identity where every high school senior should have to pass the same civics test that, frankly, every immigrant, including my mother, had to pass in order to become a citizen of this country. And the fact of the matter is, look, there's a part of education policy that also rests with the family. I didn't grow up in money, but you know the word privilege gets used a lot? Well, you know what? I did have the ultimate privilege of two parents in the house with a focus on educational achievement. And I want every kid to enjoy that. So part of the problem is we also have a federal government that pays single women more not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house, contributing to an epidemic of fatherlessness. And I think that goes hand in glove with the education crisis as well, because we have to remember education starts with the family, and the nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to mankind.
Shish. So good, boy. So good. Everything that he said, I agree with. Everything. Wow. I mean, I love the guy. I just don't know if he has the caliber to carry it out. I mean, it's great plans, great talk. You know, politicians can do a lot of talking. But, man, can you actually do this? That's another discussion, and this is where I'm like, praying for you, praying God's will be done. If you ought to be the man, so be it. But man, I'm a Trumper though. I love my Trump. I love Donald Trump. I'm sorry, Vivek. You just can't get my vote. Sorry. He's gonna take another 4 years, my man. All right, let's keep going.
Mr. Ramaswamy.
I was born in 1985, and I grew up into a generation where we were taught to celebrate our diversity and our differences so much that we forgot all of the ways we are really just the same as Americans, bound by a common set of ideals that set this nation into motion in 1776.
Correct.
And this is our moment to revive those common ideals. God is real. There are two genders. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to man. Capitalism lifts us up from poverty. There are 3 branches of government, not 4. And the U.S. Constitution, it is the strongest guarantor of freedom in human history. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what will win us the revolution of 2024. Thanks for letting me introduce myself tonight. Thank you.
Yo, it's like this guy came out of nowhere, though. Like, nobody knew who Vivek Ramaswamy was. He just came out of nowhere and destroyed and changed the game as a whole. Sheesh.
People are dying of bad climate change policies. This isn't that complicated, guys. Unlock American energy, drill, frack, burn coal, embrace nuclear. Put people back to work by no longer paying them more to stay at home. Reform the U.S. Fed, stabilize the U.S. dollar, and go to war. The only war that I will declare as U.S. president will be the war on the federal administrative state that is the source of those toxic regulations acting like a wet blanket on the economy.
Mr. Ramaswamy, you would not support an increase of funding to Ukraine?
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous, that we are protecting against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States of America.
So to the education question, how would you deal with the crisis?
So look, we have a crisis of achievement. Let's shut down the head of the snake, the Department of Education. Take that $80 billion, put it in the hands of parents across this country. This is the civil rights issue of our time. Allow any parent to choose where they send their kids to school. End the teachers' unions at the local level to allow public schools to compete. And then revive our national identity where every high school senior should have to pass the same civics test that, frankly, every immigrant, including my mother, had to pass in order to become a citizen of this country. I am running for president of the United States. We're skating on thin ice, and we cannot set a precedent where the party in power uses police force to indict its political opponents. It is wrong. We have to end the weaponization of justice in this country.
Wow. He's just so good. You know, I'll tell you what, I really love Vivek, man. I would like to see Vivek somewhere in politics, because he's got the right spirit, the charisma, the enthusiasm, the word, the attitude, and he's just gifted. I just hope and pray it's just not words. You know, the only thing that negative about this man is the fact he doesn't have much muscle in politics. That doesn't necessarily mean he can't do it, you know what I'm saying? Because when Trump came into power, nobody knew what he was able to do. He came in as a businessman and did well. And Vivek Ramaswamy is also a businessman, so he could also do well. I think the less political certain individuals are, it seems like the better they are when it comes to them in a political position. It's like the more political they are, like Mike Pence, Korea politicians, you know, and all these other guys, it seems like the more political they are, the less they're able to carry out. It seems like when a stranger comes out of nowhere, he's able to achieve a lot more because he's more in touch with the people and he doesn't get wrapped up in all the regulation that is in politics. So they're more like purpose driven. So Vivek could be that guy. But will I vote for Vivek? No, I can't. I'm one of those guys. I'm not wishy-washy. I'm like, you can't move my conviction very easily. Like, it takes a lot to move me from one conviction. Like, I believe Trump needs to win. And I believe that for a number of reasons, because he's being done dirty. Him winning, his freedom depends on him winning. He's got a history of what he's achieved, and we know what he's able to do. And there are some people that needs to be addressed, and I will not say any names. He needs to deal with some corruption, drain the swamp. I also believe Trump was done dirty in 2020. He's still being done dirty today. And I believe there are some people in politics who know very well their worst enemy is Donald Trump. They're not afraid of Vivek Ramaswamy. They're not afraid of Ron DeSantis. They're not afraid of none of these other guys, Mike Pence and so on, Nikki Haley. They're not a threat to them. Some people are afraid of Trump because they know what Trump is able to do. And this is one of the reasons. And I think the country was better under Trump. I mean, it's just period, man. The economy was better. Things were better. Families were stronger. Some of the issues we are having today, we didn't have under Trump. So does it necessarily mean Vivek can't carry them out? But at this point, I just don't have that conviction, man. I don't have that conviction. Maybe in the future, maybe my mind can change. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm praying for God's will to be done. Anyway, amazing debate. I think it was great. Again, Trump is doing his own thing on Twitter. He's not missing out anything because his viewership is so much more. It's somewhere about 200 million views now. Oh yeah, he's breaking the internet. Fox News is not really impressing anyone with this debate. Anyway, friends, much more could be said. Link in the description below. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Thank you for listening. Have a good one. Bye.